Good morning, afternoon, or evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Morrow's Algebra 2 class. Today we're going to continue with direct translation. Last week we didn't really have enough time to finish the whole entire set of notes because I wanted to make sure that you guys understood the actual translations from words to algebraic expressions. So that is something you definitely really want to learn. I'm not going to say memorize. Memorizing, it doesn't last forever. Learn it, understand it, please. If you learn that, like I asked you to learn over the weekend, this next part is going to be easier, okay? And I promise we're going to work this all out, and I promise you guys are going to be much better math students in the end for this. Okay, number four, the real word problems now. The price of a front row ticket to a concert is $69 more than twice the price of a general admissions ticket to the same concert. If you purchase a front row ticket and your friend purchased a general admission for a total of $436.50, how much did each ticket cost? Okay. I have a big beef to pick with a lot of teachers out there who try to teach this by like guess and check and start going around different numbers, and they start just randomly throwing things up in the air and see if it sticks. I'm not like that, okay? I believe in a system. I believe in a systematic way to do this. And the best way to do this for me, in my opinion, for my skill level, okay, is to set up a table. Now, when you set up a table, I want to give you a little hint here. Whenever they're describing how one is related to another, usually the second variable or the last thing they're talking about is your x, is your variable in question. So what does that mean, Morrow? Well, it means this. I'm going to make a table because we're talking about two different types of tickets. We're talking about front row, FR, and we're talking about general admission, GA. And it says that the front row ticket to a concert is $69 more than twice the price of the general admissions ticket. So in this particular case, what do we know nothing about? Who can I call my X here? The general admission, thank you. And that's what I talked about here. It's usually, almost always, the last variable in question when we're dealing with direct translations. Now, what do we know about front row? So how do we write that as an expression? Okay, 2x plus 69. $69 more than twice the price of a general admission. Does that make sense so far? Guys, this table is the key. This is it. That's the key. If you can make this table, life is a lot easier for a majority of word problems. Not all of them, I can't lie to you, but a good majority of word problems, this table is the key to the city. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and solve, but I'm just trying to teach it. I want to make sure that everyone understands. Is everyone clear right now for now? And now, thank you, my brother. You're exactly right. Now that I know that the front row costs 2x plus 69 and the general admission costs x, well, guess what? What's the total of those two? 436.50. Now it's just Mickey Mouse time. Now I solve. So this is 3x plus 69 equals 436.50. Subtract the 69. 3x will equal, we got, let me clean this up a little bit so I can do some work here. So 436.50 minus 69. Remember, guys, line up the decimals. So 0, 5, that's a 7. So that's going to be 6, so 367.50. And then I simply divide by 3. And x will equal, just for time's sake, I'm going to cheat. Thank you, my brother. You already cheated for me. Thank you. 122.5. I appreciate that greatly. So $122.50. But that's not my answer. That's a solution to our equation, but I saw my boy here shaking his head. What do I have to do to get my final answer, my brother? Thank you. I want to find the price of both tickets, guys. So guess what? That's why this table again comes in clutch. X is $122.50. So my general admission is $122.50. So what's my front row? 122 times 2 is what? 145. So 145 and 60, it's a 215 or 214? 214. Yeah, 214. And there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Guess what, guys? You just solved the word problem. Yes, sir, my brother. Hold on, let me see. I did my math in my head. I may have messed up. 2 times 140. No. 122.5 times 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 314 plus 69. 314. Thank you, kid. That's why I shouldn't do it in my head. Okay. Does that make sense? Guys, talk to me. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Consecutive integers. You guys have seen these problems since you were probably in about pre-algebra. And I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that you never really understood them. So I'm going to explain consecutive integers the easiest way I can. Something consecutive means that it's one right after the other, one right after the other, one right after the other, one right after the other. For example, 3 consecutive numbers would be 8, 9, 10, or 12, 13, 14, or 7, 8, 9, or 61, 62, 63, or -8, -7, -6. All of those are consecutive integers, okay? They are consecutive. And in consecutive integers, it's very simple as long as you understand that concept. So when we look at the first easiest 3 consecutive integers out there, we're talking about the numbers 1, 2, and 3, correct? Well, when I talk about setting up equations with consecutive integers, I think of 1, 2, and 3. And I think of my first number as, let's just pretend it's the value of 1, but I'm going to call that unknown number n. How did I get from 1 to 2, y'all? So what do you think my next consecutive integer will be? N plus 1. How did I get from n to 3, my brothers? I added 2, so my third consecutive integer will be n plus 2. And that's the way that consecutive integer is going to continually grow. When I'm just talking about consecutive integers, it's n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, n plus 4, n plus 5, n plus 6, depending on how many consecutive integers there are. When we talk about consecutive odd and even integers, it's almost the same, except now I'm going to look at my odd numbers of 1, 3, 5, and I'm also going to look at 2, 4, and 6 because it's the same value either way when we're talking about putting them into expressions. Let's say I'm starting with an odd or an even number, but we don't know what odd or even number we're starting with. I'm going to start with 1 and 2 just as a guide. My unknown number would be n. That's cool. That's easy enough. Now, how did I get from 1 to 3, y'all? And how did I get from 2 to 4? Plus 2. Okay, whoever said plus 4, no, 2 plus 4 is not 4. So how did I get from 1 to 3? I added 2 to 1. How did I get from 2 to 4? I added 2 to 2. So for odd or even consecutive integers, I go from my first term to my next term by adding 2, n plus 2. How did I get from 1 to 5, y'all? And how did I get from 2 to 6? So what did I do to any odd or even number to get to my third or second consecutive integer? I'm adding 4. So for odd and even consecutive integers, I'm going n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6, n plus 8, n plus 10. Yes, sir.
So it depends on the number. You don't always add 2.
No, you always add, well, it depends on whether it's consecutive even, consecutive odd, or consecutive integers. If I say I have the sum of 3 consecutive integers, that's going to be n plus 1, n plus 2. Yeah. If I say I have the sum of consecutive odd integers, it's going to be n plus 2, n plus 4. And the same thing for even. N plus 2, n plus 4. Because remember, guys, consecutive integers are just one away from each other. But when we're going from consecutive odds or consecutive evens, think about it. From one odd number to the next, am I not adding 2? From 17 to 19, what did I add? 25 to 27. Okay. Same thing with even numbers. From 8 to 10, what did I add? 2. So for consecutive odd or even, I'm going n, that's my starting point, plus 2, plus 4, plus 6, plus 8. Make sense?
So it's for consecutive odd or even.
Odd or even, you're adding plus 2, plus 4, plus 6, plus 8. Consecutive integers, it's just plus 1, plus 2, plus 3.
You're adding all.
I'm sorry?
You're adding all of them plus 2 plus 4.
Yeah, let me give you an example, okay? Thank you, my brother. Thank you. For example, the sum of 3 consecutive even integers is 324. So I have the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. Do I know my first term? Guys, do I know my first term? Guys, think about this. You're overthinking this. The sum of 3 consecutive even integers is 324. Do I know my first term? So what do we call an unknown? Okay, n or x, whatever. Plus, what's my next consecutive even integer? N plus 2. Plus then my third consecutive even integer, n plus 4. Why did I not go n plus 1, n plus 2? Because they're even. Even in odds, we go n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6, etc., etc. And that's going to equal 324. And then I'm going to go ahead and add these up, clean this up. That's 3n plus 6 equals 324. Subtract the 6 to both sides. I've got 3n equals 318. Divide by 3. That's an 18. And then n will equal 106. Now, that is not my answer. And this is what gets all of my boys. Yes, sir. Because you have to now read the directions. I want to find the integers. What are my integers? My integers are n, which is 106. Then n plus 2, 108. Then n plus 4, 110. And when you add all of those up together, guys, it's going to give you 324. Does that make sense? Promise. Okay. May I continue? Yes, sir. I don't like training it like that because what if they tell you the sum of 7 consecutive integers? And then in that case, it kind of throws that off. Now, your logic is 100%. What my boy asked was, okay, every time that you know you got sum of 3 consecutive even integers, you know it's going to be n plus 2, n plus 4. So can't you just go right off the bat 3n plus 6? Sure. And again, 100% if it's just 3. But if I change that up a little bit and I train my boys that way, then they're always going to think it's just a plus 6. So I want them to visualize it a little bit more. Because I could put, sum of 4 consecutive integers, or 5 or 6 or 7 or 9. It really depends. The usual is 3, but if you know that, then you know that already. But I don't want to just say like that's a blanket statement. It's always going to add 6. It really depends on how many. But you're absolutely right. If you see 3 consecutive odd integers or even, I know I'm going to add 6 to 3n, and I'm going to solve.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, let's say 4 would be 12.
Correct.
So you would always
But not everyone sees it like you do as quickly. But thank you. 100% right. Thank you, my brother. How about number 3? Yes, sir, my brother. No, if you could just divide 3 by 324, sir, I wouldn't set up this equation, and I would tell you divide by 320 by 3. But thank you very much, sir. No. Okay, the sum of 3 consecutive integers is negative 48. Okay? And again, wait, I'm going to go back. 324 divided by 3 is 108, sir. So according to that, your answer would be 108, 110, and 112. Please, guys, please do what I'm teaching. I know what I'm doing. Thank you. The sum of three consecutive integers is negative 48. Find the integers. Okay, so I got the sum of three consecutive integers. So I have, what's my first integer? N. Whoa. What's my next integer? N plus 1, because it's a consecutive integer, not a consecutive even or consecutive odd.
In that case, it would be n plus
Uh-huh, and then what's my next one?
n plus n plus 1.
No, plus n plus 2. Guys, how did I get from 1 to 2? And how did I get from 1 to 3? So again, for consecutive integers, it's n, my first one, plus n plus 1, plus n plus 2, plus n plus 3, plus n plus 4, plus n plus 5. You're always adding one more for consecutive integers. So I got my n plus n plus 1 plus n plus 2 equals negative 48. So this is 3n plus 3 equals negative 48. 3n equals negative 51 divided by 3. N equals negative 17. But that's not my answer. My answer are the three, I want the integers. So n is negative 17, that's n. N plus 1 is negative 16. N plus 2 is negative 15. And that is my answer. Those are the integers. This makes sense, guys. Your homework today is nothing but word problems. So do you understand this? Yes, sir. Okay, because what's negative 17 plus 1, my brother? What is negative 17 plus 1, my brother? Negative 16. That's why I didn't go negative 18, because that's not the right answer. Yes, sir.
Can three consecutive integers go like backwards, like they stop to n minus 1?
No. They're not going to go backwards, then they wouldn't be consecutive.
But what if they were going like second, negative 17 and 19?
Then they would start from negative 19 and go forward. You always read left to right, not right to left. Yes, sir. I just put this in parentheses so you can show that I have my n, my first term, plus n plus 1 is my second term, plus my n plus 2, which is my third term. That's why I did that. Okay? Now, okay, what do I got left here? Okay, I got quite a few left. Okay. You're building a shelving system and cut a 14-foot length of oak shelving into 3 pieces. The second piece is twice the length of the first, and the third piece is 2 feet longer than the first. Find the length of each piece. Okay, let's make a table. Let's make a table. We've got 3 pieces here, right? They've got 3 pieces of wood. So I'm going to, yes, sir. Okay, I don't have a variable yet. Just first we're going to make the table. Did you make a table? Okay. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now tell me, what's what, my brother? Okay, the second piece is twice the length of the first. Very good. So the first piece is X or N. The second piece is twice the first. Very good, my brother. And then number 3 says, and the third piece is 2 feet longer than the first. So N plus 2. That's fantastic, son. Great job. Now, how do we put this all together? Okay, you're building a shelving system and cut a 14-foot length of oak shelving into 3 pieces. So what do these 3 pieces add up to? 14, my brothers. So piece 1 plus piece 2 plus piece 3 equals 14. So 4n plus 2 equals 14. 4n equals 12 divided by 4, n equals 3. So I want to find the length of each piece. So piece 1 is 3 feet. Piece 2 is 6 feet. Piece 3 is 5 feet. And that's my answer. Look, I know that it's taking a while for this lesson, but I don't care. I want to make sure you guys absorb it. Tomorrow, we'll finish this the first half, and then we'll start doing our homework together as a team during the second half. Is that fair? All I ask, please reread both videos and rewatch them. Make sure you know everything we've done up to now. Thank you. God bless you. Hope you learned a lot. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.